Hello, hello, hello. It is Cassandra Terry, your manifesting miracle maker, and it is Wake Up Wednesday. And you guys know Wake Up Wednesday is all about intentionality, being intentional, taking a look at ourselves and being honest about whether or not we're living our life intentionally or if we are just kind of going through the motions and letting life happen. You are so much more important than that. Just don't let it happen, make it happen. And in order for you to make it happen, you have to know what it is that you would like to see come about. So you have to have a clear journey in mind, a clear goal, clear desires. And then once you have those, then you can build a roadmap to get there. And that's where intentionality comes into play. So I was thinking this morning about this, and this is take two of the video. I had all kinds of technical difficulties this morning. I got on at the usual time and people were unable to hear me and the video was choppy. So I'm before I get back to the day job, I thought I would take a little bit of my lunch time and connect with you guys and start what I finish what I couldn't get going this morning. So I looked up the word intentional this morning and to intend. I just looked up intend and it says to have a course of action as one's purpose or objective. And another word for intend is to plan. Hello, mother. Thanks for joining. So having a course of action is what it means to be intentional. There's some place you want to get to. You're here. You know exactly where you are, which is where you have to start because a good roadmap has the starting point. Have you ever gone somewhere, maybe like the mall or something, and you want to find your way around and you go and look at the marquee and the first thing you find is that star and it says you are here? That is your starting point. Wherever here is, wherever you are, don't judge that. Just observe it and be okay with right now. And then you take now and say, where do I want to go from here? That's the journey you're ready to take. That's what it is you're desiring. That's the goal that you want to meet. And so you start with now, you figure out where you would like to get to, and then you build the plan to get you there step by step, choice by choice. I talked about that earlier this week. That's all transformation is little bitty steps, making good decisions to get you where it is you want to go. And then you have to be intentional about all the choices and all the steps that you make because I can be busy all the time. I am busy all the time. It's not that often I make time for me to not be busy and for me just to recuperate because the way my brain is wired, the way the energy level that I have, I can just go, 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 go until I burn myself out and then I've got nothing left and I'm forced to rest. I don't want to live like that, right? I want to recharge my battery throughout the day so that whenever I'm doing something that's important to me, I'm showing up in the best frame of mind, with the best attitude, with the best amount of energy that I possibly can. That means I have to be doing things intentionally throughout the day to take care of myself. So I have little bitty mindfulness breaks built into my day. I have an app on my phone. It goes off 3 times a day and it has me to do things. It may be a breathing exercise, maybe take a walk. There's a lot of different things, but it gives me a chance to step away from what I've been doing for hours and hours and hours, probably sitting for all that time. It gives me a time to step back, breathe, recuperate, kind of get my battery charged again, and then come back to it in a better mindset to really be productive. One of the things that I've written about in my blog before is busy versus productive. And my definition for those two is very simple. When you're busy, which we all are, you're doing a lot of things. You got stuff going on all the time, and that looks great. It's like, man, she never sits down. She always has something going on. All that says is that you're busy. But the real question is, are you productive? When you're productive, you're not just doing things, but you're doing the right things at the right time to get you where it is you're trying to go. And so evaluate your activities all the time. And some things we do because we've always done them. And we do them the way we do them because we've always done them that way. But it's smart to stop every once in a while and go, why am I doing this? Is this the right thing for me to do? Or am I just doing this out of habit? Is this something that I've always done? Evaluate your activities so that you know that you have moved from that state of busyness into a state of being productive, because that's where it is. That's where you see yourself moving towards the desires that you have. I want to share a quote with you guys from Nelson Mandela. Love Mr. Mandela. That was somebody whose circumstances meant nothing to his state of mind. That it meant nothing. He was behind a jail cell for years for being nothing more than who he was. And he changed the world. He changed the world for many, many people, including himself, from behind bars. He inspired people, he uplifted people, he continued to live a valuable life, even though his physical freedom was taken from him. He lost his physical freedom for quite a while, but he never lost his mental and emotional freedom. He hung on to that. And one of the things that he wrote was, action without vision is passing time. Vision without action is merely daydreaming, but action with vision can change the world. And that's what we're here to do. We are here to change the world. There are levels to that statement. The first world you want to change is your internal world. How are you showing up? How do you feel? How are you doing within your own skin? That's the first world. Once you figure that out, if it's not happening within your internal world the way it needs to, you can forget about changing anything else for the better. You have to take care of you first so that you are showing up as the best version of you more often than not, as much as you possibly can. And that takes being intentional. I am intentional about getting enough sleep. I am intentional about stepping away when I feel myself getting all worked up, because in that state I'm not productive. In that state I'm not going to make good decisions. So the wisest thing for me to do is to pause, press pause, step back, and give myself a chance to re-enter myself and get back to a good state, so that when I do make a decision, when I do make a choice and decide to move forward, I'm not doing that from this heightened emotional state, but I am moving with intention. I've gotten myself to a place where I can think about my end goal. I can think about what's important to me. I can think about the people in my life who are watching and what I want to show up for them. Hey, Trina, thanks for joining. Yeah, the pause is important. That pause gives you time. In that, even if it's only for a few seconds, if you will just take a breath, take that second, and now your brain is slowing down, your emotions are coming down, and you can think in that split second, this person that I'm about to give them the business is important to me. This is somebody that I really care about. And I'm going to be careful about how I deliver this message, because how they feel is important to me. So they may have done something that I don't agree with, or they may have done something that sets me off. And how I feel is important too. So we're going to address it. We're going to deal with how they've made me feel. But because they are an individual, because they are human, because they are fallible, we all are, I'm going to take a breath and I'm going to think before I speak, so that I don't make a bad situation worse. If we would all learn, pause just for a second, if we would just take that beat to breathe and get ourselves together before we speak, a lot of times we will find ourselves calming a situation down and making it better, instead of flaming fanning the flames and helping the situation get out of control. Because it takes two. It takes at least two, right? And so you can decide that of the two, you are going to be the one that's going to try and make the situation better, even if it's you that's been wrongly, dealt with. And there's a way to address that without blowing up the whole situation. And that's what that pause will do for you. It's all about being intentional. When we are revved up, when we are at our higher emotional states, we're not intentional, we're reactionary. We're reacting to how we feel, we're reacting to that frustration. I can't believe you even did me that way, said that thing to me. So here I come. both guns are blazing. When I take a step back, allow myself to breathe a little bit, the situation may not be as big as I've made it in that moment, because in that moment, they've probably triggered something else. And the reason that situation is so big to you right then and there is not just that one thing that was said or done, but it takes you back to how someone else has made you feel, or some bad messaging that you developed as over the years. And so sometimes the people who, when they get the full weight of our frustration, they're not even getting just what it is that they were, that situation. They're getting so much more because you're all worked up. Hey Val, thanks for joining. I'm so glad to see you here. So guys, I'm not sure if you're going to see this on replay. If you do, go ahead and hashtag replay and let me know that you are here. I will do my best. Well, I won't do my best. I will respond to your comments. Feel free to share. I usually am on at 7 a.m. Central, but this morning I was having all kind of technical difficulties, so I decided to, after about half my workday was over, I take a break and come on right now. And what we have been talking about is being intentional. And for those of you who just joined or who will join later, let me just say it one more time. When you intend something, you have a course of action. It's your purpose or your objective. It's a plan. And in order to intend, in order for that to move from an intention to something that actually becomes, you've got to put some action behind it. And Nelson Mandela said it better than I ever could. And he said, action without vision is only passing time. Vision without action is merely daydreaming, but action with vision can change the world. So you don't want to be out there just doing stuff. I am so busy. I'm here, I'm there, I'm taking the world by storm because I've got my hands into a little bit of everything. That's great. And all those people that you've got your hands in all their stuff, I'm sure they're benefiting from that in some way and they appreciate it. But the question is, do all those activities align with the goals that you have set for yourself? Do they align with where you're trying to go within your life? If the answer is yes, by all means, keep doing it, do more of it. But if those things don't align, it's time to reevaluate why you're doing them in the first place. Right? So make sure, the one thing that we all have, I don't care where you were born, I don't care your financial situation, I don't care the color of skin you were born into, your gender, your ableness, none of that matters when it comes to time. We are all given an equal portion of that. If we're not equal anywhere else in life, we all get the same amount of time. And so it's up to us to use that time, that precious gift, that commodity. We've got to use it wisely. And being intentional is your best way to do that. You have a goal in mind, and then you start to build some steps to get there. And now every time something else comes up, someone asks you to do something, there's a possible thing of you could veer this way or that way. There's all these things that you could do. You just simply ask yourself, which of these things align with what it is I'm trying to accomplish? That's where your energy goes. If the thing is does not align, it's an easy no. Say no. Hey Shirley, thanks for joining. Say no. Mean your no. Stand by your no. Don't let people guilt you. You should help me with this because I did that. That's all good. But remember, you only have a certain amount of time. We only have a certain amount of life to live, and none of us know exactly what that is. But when you are no longer here, when you're almost gone, I would be willing to bet everything that you're not going to be worried about all that little nitpicky stuff. So, actually thinking about what your life means to you and what it is you would like to accomplish before it ends really helps you get clear about the journey that you want to take. It helps you to get clear about your goals. And so my encouragement to you, even though it sounds a little morbid, is sometimes to sit back and think, okay, I couldn't control the day that I was born, and now that's gone. I don't know when the day will come when I'm not. Most people have heard that poem about the dash. The dash is the day between the day we're born and the day we die, right? You see it on tombstones. So and so's name, date, dash, date. all we really can control is the dash. And what are you doing with your dash? Are you spending that time well, or are you allowing those days to, are you allowing your life to get closer to that end date without really putting any thought into how you're spending your time? I think that's the real thing that would make those final hours really, really difficult emotionally. If your life has been well spent, if you've poured into your family and enjoyed that, if you've done the things that you believe you were born to do, I don't think it's ever easy to go, but I think that will make it a lot easier because you know that you've lived your life and that you've provided value. And that's all we can ask for. Someone wrote me today, and she'll never know how deeply she touched my heart and how she said to me, keep going. I've been getting a lot of those messages lately, but somebody wrote me in great detail about a lot of difficulties that they've had in their life over the last few years, and how tuning in to my broadcast and things like that have really helped her gain some different perspective and move forward in her life, where she was in a place where before where she was really, really depressed. I can't begin to tell y'all how validating that is for me, because most of the time when I'm talking, my mom's going to be on, my sister's going to be on, there's a couple people that pop in here and there, but I do ask myself the question sometimes, why am I doing this? Is it really a smart thing to do? Do people really care? And when I find myself kind of getting into that mindset, somebody like her will pop up and drop me a message. And I just believe God is saying to me, keep going. Everything that you experienced, I allowed you to experience because I knew one day you would be sitting in a chair talking to people that you can't even see about what those experiences have taught you. That's mind blowing. That means nothing that has ever happened to me, good, bad, or indifferent, was wasted. It was all for this. It was all for me to come through on the other side and say to you guys, I know it's tough out there. I know you're going through something hard, but I'm here and I can promise you that you can get through. Thank you, Asia. So that's what my life is about in this period of my life. I'm almost 55. So I've lived a good number of years, and different stages had different, responsibilities and focus. And this stage is like, take what you've learned and share it, and maybe somebody else will be better off for it. That is literally all I can ask. And that intention really, really helps me. And let me give you guys an example of how I use intention. It was frustrating this morning to I don't like to not show up. I don't like to disappoint. And I couldn't get that video down from all the sites. So I'm using an application right now called StreamYard. And so when I go live, I'm live on both my Facebook pages, I'm live on LinkedIn, and I'm live on YouTube all at the same time. So if I make a mistake, if I mess up, I'm messing up in a whole bunch of places all at once. And so this morning, the audio was horrible. There was very little video. It was just a mess. And I was able to take it down off of Facebook pretty easily, but I couldn't figure out how to delete the video from those other two places. And so I just put a comment there that said, having technical difficulties, I'll come back later in the day and resume this conversation. That was the best that I could do. But when things don't go as you desire them to, especially first thing in the morning, that can really set the tone for the rest of your day if you allow it to. So what I did after I shut my laptop, I closed my laptop because I was that frustrated. I didn't even want to look at the screen because it just wouldn't do what I needed it to do. So I closed my laptop first, and then I got really quiet and I closed my eyes. And I told myself, you are going to have a super day. You are going to have a very productive day. You are going to wow people with how much knowledge you have and what great ideas you come up with. And I was starting to focus on my workday because it starts about 8 a.m. and it was getting close to that. So I knew I didn't have time this morning to do the broadcast again. So, but I told myself, you're going to have a great work day. You're going to show them just how quickly you can come up with good ideas and you can improve things in the place. It is the day's half over. All that has come true. I had a couple meetings. I have some standing meetings with my staff and with other parts of the organization. And I was so content with how those meetings went because I could hear myself just dropping good ideas. And they were responding to, oh, that's great. If we can figure out how to do that, that's going to make this better and that'll make that better. And I'm just driving that meeting. Why? Because I set the intention after things blew up in my face this morning. After the technology said, no, ma'am, you are not going live. You're not telling these people anything today. They're going to see you at your worst. They're going to hear this horrible audio. They're going to see a black screen where your face is supposed to be, and you're going to show up technically horrible this morning. That was playing in my head for about 2 seconds, and I decided to take control of that thought. And I was like, oh no, today's going to be great. All this good stuff is going to happen. I am going to be in a great mood. And when you set those intentions, your mind doesn't know any better than to believe you. Understand that. So if you tell yourself, oh my God, this day is horrible, your mind has no better sense than to believe you. So that's why our words are so important. This morning, I had a shirt on that said speak life. And I think it's Psalms 18 and 21. Speak life. The power of the tongue, the power of your mindset. It is one of the most powerful things in our universe because how we think and how we speak is how we go. It's how we move through life. So if I can't convince you of anything else, I want to convince you of the power that lives within you. And that power is kicked up, set off by what you think first and then by what you say, because you are going to get busy making what you think and what you say a reality. And everything around you is going to align with that. So if things are going wrong all the time, if you're having a hard time in a particular situation, put some thought into that situation. Meditate on that situation. Speak positivity over that situation. Speak how you want to see that situation come out as if it already has. Yes, the universe is always responding to you, not reacting. We are the reactors, but the universe responds. You are absolutely right, Asia. So if we just go through life reacting, we are living in chaos and we're out of control all the time. But when we quiet ourselves and we step back from all the stuff that's going on inside our heads and outside, when we step back and decide to take control of our thoughts and take control of what we say, it changes how we move through the world and things start to open up for us. Things start to be a little bit easier. You hear people talk about ease and flow. Ease and flow happens when you align yourselves. Your mind, your body, your spirit is in alignment and it has decided that things are going to go well. We have that kind of power. We just don't exercise it. We don't use it to our advantage because a lot of times we're focused on the things that are going wrong and that's what we're talking about. So we're just generating more of that. Valerie said, yes, take control of the situation and turn it into a positive. Miss Queen said, good afternoon, alignment. Yes, you guys are feeling me. You are hearing exactly what it is I'm talking about. Taking control, flipping that thing on its head if you have to, wrestling it down into a positive. Whatever, sometimes it's just as simple as stating the opposite of what thought just went to your head. Sometimes it's just that simple. Oh my God, I wish I didn't have to go to the office this morning. It's raining, it's cold. Could you imagine if you got the phone call right after that said your services were no longer needed? You would be devastated and you would want that job so badly, no matter how tired you are, no matter what the weather's doing. So that's not really, it's not really what you mean, but it's what you're putting out there. So I tell people all the time to replace I have to with I get to. Oh Lord, I have to go to my kid's game. I'm tired. No, I get to go. I get to go see my child in a place that they enjoy, doing something that they're really good at, or doing something that they're learning to be good at, whatever the situation may be. Flip that conversation so that you're stating it in the positive and watch how your emotions and your mind catches up with that. Everything should be in alignment. And that's when you have the control. So Trina says, I'm starting to find a positive out of a negative situation. Then you're winning. If you are finding a positive out of a negative situation, you are winning, Trina. I call that the gift. You want to, every situation, even the bad ones, has something to teach us. There is something that we're going to learn from that situation that we can take with us after that situation is done. And I call that the gift. So whatever it is that you're struggling with, look for the gift in it. First of all, it changes your mindset. You're looking for the positive instead of, the negative. So look for the gift in that situation and make sure that you take that gift with you going forward. And now whatever that difficult thing is that you went through was not in vain. If you lost the job, what was the gift in you losing the job? Well, I've been wanting to go to school, and now I have the time to go to school. And because I don't make the same amount of money that I made, I qualify for some aid, financial aid, and I'm actually able to go. There's a gift if you look for it. And so that's what you want to do all the time. And if you get yourself into that habit, you will end up being one of those glass half full people versus half empty. And that mindset will take you anywhere that you want to go. So, all right, I need to get back to the day job and be a good steward there as well. So, we are going to go ahead and wrap up this Wednesday, this Wake Up Wednesday. I hope you guys got something out of our discussion around being intentional. Being intentional is having an objective, having a plan, and putting actions in place to accomplish that. And that is what I am hoping for you today. We will be back tomorrow. On Thursdays, I have a work meeting at 7 a.m. So I'm not quite sure yet what time the broadcast is going to be. It may be at noon again, but I'll set it up in advance so that there's a notification that goes out that says what time I'm going to go live tomorrow. But typically Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'll go live at 7 a.m. and Thursday is kind of a figure out where in my day I can get it in. But the goal, 5 days a week, coming live and talking about the things that I think will make all of our lives better instantaneously, things that we control if we just realize that we have that control. So thank you guys for joining in. I appreciate you so much. I definitely appreciate all the comments and interaction. It makes it a lot easier for me. Manifestingmiraclemakers.com is scrolling at the bottom of this view right below my face, and that is my blog. I would love it if you guys would subscribe, and that way you're notified whenever I put new writings or things out. You'll get a notification and know all about it, and I won't have to bug you via text message as much as I do. So all right guys, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining in. Bye-bye.